indeed my name. Who are you to utter it so disrespectfully? Few people would react so strongly to my name and face. Few, except minions of Lutz, that is.
You are mistaken, Luther. This person saved me when I was being chased.
You simply accept that, Harriet. Couldn't there be a ploy on their part? To have you lead them right to our hideout.
Luther!
Yes, calm yourself. It's unbecoming for an heir to the throne to raise her voice so.
The same could be said of you, Luther.
I was stripped of my right to exceed, remember? Which leaves me with that much more liberty in terms of my thoughts, my deeds, and my research.
Oh, I get it. The universe's memories are all jumbled up. But still, I wasn't expecting Harriet's brother to be Luther of all people. What is it?
A fairy, just as the legend foretold. As for you, of course, you must be the otherworldly visitor spoken of in the selfsame legend.
You can tell that?
I stand at the forefront of sorcery research. One look at your mana flow makes it clear you're not of this world. Besides, this is a land where summoning is a reality. I was the one to discover their mechanism. It would be irrational indeed if I refused to believe in the existence of other worlds. I must say, though, I'm impressed that you speak our language in that form and fly through the air. Legend or no, it's quite fascinating. How would you like to be a research subject?
Oh, jeez! The more things change, the more they stay the same. Hey! Whoa! Help!
Point. Allow me to delve into the origin of our war and the state of our nation. All started with this flower, ephemera. You've already heard about what it does, I trust.
Using ephemera as a catalyst makes works of sorcery far more potent than they would be otherwise.
This enabled the working of sorcerous miracles that would never have otherwise been possible under mundane limitations. Such strange flowers. They sprout up the world over, leaving no seeds. When their petals scatter, they fade away like morning fog. Some characterize them as gifts from on high, but in truth, they are quite the opposite. More of a deal with the devil, really. To wit, ephemera are demonic flowers that slowly erode the minds of those who use them, gradually driving the world mad.
What do you mean by erode minds?
Exactly what I said, Fairy. As one absorbs the mana given off by ephemera, their mind becomes increasingly eroded. It progresses slowly, unnoticeably, until finally, the user is no longer capable of distinguishing between sanity and madness. Then, they accept only those who are similarly afflicted. They cultivate an inescapable obsession with eliminating all others. Prime Minister Lutz is one such victim. He killed the king, and usurped the throne. And you see what he is doing now.
This sounds an awful lot like F-Factor corruption. If the profound darkness is behind the rise of this ephemera, that would explain a lot. If continual use curse of ephemera results in people's minds being eroded, that's a huge threat. But how did you figure that out? Well,
I was the one who devised the Castrum Demonica conjuration. I've allowed countless people to die after being driven mad by it.
But that's not fair! You were just working to advance the field of sorcery. You never meant to.
Excuses are cheap, Harriet. I have sacrificed many on the altar of my research. I am aware of my crimes, and why my right to succession was stripped away. And now, the very world is being eroded as a result of my research. That's a fact, plain and simple. Would you believe me if I said it was to advance the world? Somehow I doubt it. That's the true goal of my research, and really, isn't that reason enough to continue? All I did was watch as people became corrupted. I'm the craziest of them all. If not for Harriet, I'm sure I would have suffered the same fate as Lutz.
Granted, you are the one who created the Castrum Demonica. But you are also the one who crafted the Buster Tower conjuration to destroy it.
Yes, and we've seen what that's gotten me. A spot right at the top of Lutz's hit list. Collusion with enemy nations on the use of Castrum Demonicas, larceny, insurgent R&D. The list of trumped-up charges goes on, I'm sure.
Ephemera was first discovered decades before we were even born. Its effects were tremendous, but nothing world-changing. It was the Castrum Demonica conjuration that Luther discovered, which changed the face of war in our world. Every country summons Castrum Demonicas to their borders and has staring contests with their neighbors.
With no invasions, wars stay contained, and needless bloodshed is averted. Perhaps if one takes this at face value, the leaking of but that's only on the surface. It's merely one step on a
I admit that him having Luther's face still throws me off. I hear you. You're carving a path to the royal capital, one Castrum Demonica at a time. I think...
Before the advent of conjurations and ephemera, this realm was once under the dominion of a great dragon called the Crimson Fellworm. The hero and her companions slew the dragon after a long battle, built a castle atop its remains to seal it away, and restore the land. That is how our nation of Quento was founded.
Wow! Does that mean your family is descended from the hero?
Quento Castle, the throne room. The former Prime Minister Lutz listened impatiently to his officers' reports, languishing upon the throne.
How do you explain this state of affairs? Luther and
The castrum should a means be to...
Excuses! I demand action!
Compose yourself, Uncle.
How can you expect me to be composed when our castrum demonicas are falling left and right?
Princess Harriet's side has the power to destroy castrum demonicas, and they travel with the entity known as the Guardian. They are also backed by the royal bloodline. You control the kingdom, objectively speaking, but theirs is the side with just cause.
Just whose side are you on, Alice?
I merely state the objective truth as Sword Maiden. I believe that a parley would be in the best interest of our nation and its people.
Never! The royal line tried to doom the land. There can be no peace with them.
Uncle, did the former king truly seek to doom the land?
How can you even ask? Castrum demonicas and ephemera are absolutely vital to our land's continued survival in the world. To publicly renounce them would doom us all. Our nation would fall and be erased from history. The legend and sword you've protected would be gone with it. Isn't that right, Alice the Sword Maiden?
Yes. Without the castrum demonicas, we could not maintain our borders in this world. What my uncle claims is accurate. So why was the king so set upon renouncing them and eliminating ephemera, even knowing that? I'll have to ask them in person.
The official claim was that the former king was struck down for attempting to cast away his nation's sovereignty. According to this version of events, his public policy was too harmful to be endured. Sword Maiden Elise accepted those claims without question. She had read the royally stamped edicts for herself, after all, and put in the effort necessary to assure that they matched the Prime Minister's claims. However, something felt as though it was amiss. What reason could a benevolent king possibly have for being so forceful about the need to expunge ephemera and the castrum demonicas? The Sword Maiden who carried on the legend had a duty to maintain an accurate grasp of history. Elise took that duty seriously. When the Sword Maiden showed up, alone and unescorted, Harriet's group was surprised, but they welcomed her nonetheless.
I thank you for your gracious reception.
It is an honor to be visited by Elise, the Sword Maiden.
Please, there is no need to bow. My line carries on a sword and legend, and we have no political affiliation.
But Lutz is your uncle. Surely you hold sympathy for one related to you by blood.
By that logic, my bond to the two of you is thicker than blood. We can all trace our lineage back to the legend, after all.
And what are you here to discuss?
The castrum demonica. No, the ephemera. I am here to learn the truth of them.
What do you get out of seeing through your enemy's eyes? Your uncle is at...
The castrum demonicas are my uncle's prized possession. Should they... To which side should I devote my blade and strength? Who is worthy of my faith?
Ephemera permeates the minds of those who use it. It amplifies violent urges and drives them to eliminate those who have not been afflicted. learned this while developing the castrums, and presented my findings to the king, who issued a policy on the spot prohibiting ephemera. The Prime Minister and his allies disagreed most violently. They assassinated the king, blaming we royal siblings, and usurped the throne.
Am I to believe that in the absence of evidence?
You must have seen the evidence for yourself by now. Aren't you Prime Minister Lutz's niece?
Are you suggesting that my uncle has already succumbed to this ephemera phenomenon?
The Prime Minister we knew was a kind-hearted man who always put the nation and its people first. Father had absolute faith in him. Lutz also took point personally in preparing castrum demonicas in the interest of national defense. He summoned more of them than anyone,
Which, in turn, has exposed him to the negative effects of ephemera.
He builds castrum demonicas across the land for the good of the nation and its people. We, the royals, destroy them for the good of the world. The irony is not lost on me, I assure you.
Luther.
That's the long and short of our pitch, as it were. What you believe is up to you. But something tells me the decision has been made for you already.
What do you...
Lady Harriet, reporting. We have a massive conjuration reading on the plains in front of our camp. It's a castrum demonica summons.
What? But there are no military forces stationed around here.
I imagined he assembled some forces while you were making contact with us to exploit the Sword Maiden. Nay, one's own niece as a pawn. You truly have lost yourself to madness, Lutz.
Uncle! My uncle has always been a wise and kind man. He treated me well even before I had accepted everything he told me at face value. What was I about to pen in this nation's history? In the continuation of our nation's founding legend, Lady Elise. The sword and strength I inherit exist to slay the Crimson Fellworm. They must not be used to other ends. Perhaps those teachings have simply been an excuse for me to avert my eyes from reality. Lady Harriet, Mr. Luther, and you, legendary savior, guardian. Let us work together to stop my uncle. If parley isn't possible.
Do you understand what your words mean?
The battle for the Castrum Demonica is about to begin. We've confirmed deployment of the Arx Demonica and anticipate a fierce battle. Summon Buster Rams, destroy barriers, and destroy the Castrum Demonica upon interception. Good luck. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
The Revolutionary Army, led by Harriet, bore down on the royal capital and laid waste to the Castrum Demonica. Their unbreakable momentum and their inexorable march led them to the outskirts of the royal capital, where Lutz resided. A cold, stone castle stood behind the walls. Harriet gazed up at it quietly, remembering her days there. Royal Castle.
Reports we're getting claim that he's a fool. Salvation.
Let us go.
Curses, curses, curses! What's wrong with seeking power and resources? It's all for the good of the nation. My hand is forced. I shall summon a Castrum Demonica in this place and crush this rebellion personally! Yes, justice is on my side. Using a legend to stir the people and sow chaos in the royal family is a crime. There can be no more room for compromise. I don't care if you are a savior. Who needs one? As long as we have ephemera. Yes, the legend is but a relic. With this, O people, O world, bear witness to the revision of myth itself!
The battle for the Castrum Demonica is about to begin. We've confirmed deployment of the Arx Demonica and anticipate a fierce battle. Summon Buster Rams, destroy barriers, and destroy the Castrum Demonica upon interception. Good luck. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. All personnel, prepare to commence battle! Castrum Demonica!
Lutz managed to summon a Castrum Demonica to protect the royal capital. But to no avail. the Guardians struck it down. But Lutz refused to admit defeat. He fled into Coento Castle. Harriet's group pursued Lutz to put an end to the revolution. The setting? Coento Castle, the throne room. Here, the war ravaging the nation was to finally meet its end.
This cannot be. It can't. It can't. It can't! This can't possibly be right! The Castrum Demonica, the power of ephemera, defeated at the hands of man?
Lutz! You have nowhere left to run!
I'm not done. Once I destroy you all, my grip on the throne will be ironclad!
Such destructive power! Is this too the power of ephemera?
Even as a mere catalyst, this is what it's capable of. That
This is no time to gloat!
Damn this cursed flower!
The ephemera! Harriet!
Let's not get violent with my sisters now.
I fought
For the nation.
The nation and... Uncle,
Alice. Of course. You can smite these fools and bring peace to the land.
That I cannot do. My sword and might have no place within this conflict.
Even Alice the Sword Maiden betrays me. Have you forgotten all I've done for you?
Please, Uncle. But, Miss...
Join
Uncle.
our power and intelligence serve one purpose, and one alone. They exist to be offerings to the land and the world. That is what ephemera is for.
Triggering a runaway mana reaction? How stupid can a man be?
You'll all join me in death. The world must be destroyed. All of history must be destroyed.
The exits are off!
Sword. Legend. I call upon you now. Fleeting wings, I bid thee come forth. Exit!
Huh? Are we outside the castle? Was that instant?
There is but one method.
I wasn't certain that would work, but the sword answered my call.
Did you notice that? I didn't pick up any warning signs or anything. Not even Ark's techno... Maybe it's something along the same lines.
His delusions of grandeur were his downfall. The throne Lutz so desperately craved will be his tomb.